Hey everyone, Rob here, and we got more updates as you can see right away on the earthquakes and the potential eruption that is going on in Grindavik, Iceland. Now, what we are seeing here is from the road administration. They have posted on Facebook a lot of these photos showing the damage that has occurred. I'm just going to mute this as I talk. Showing the damage that has occurred around the city of Grindavik because of all the earthquakes and all of these sort of, cracks into the road that they now have to try and fix over time. And you can see these sort of sinkhole type situations that people are now looking at. I mean, you can see clear tunnels under the road that you're seeing right now from the road administration. There's a huge video on this. Yeah, he's going around and around showing all of the horrible situation that's been going on in Grindavik. And this is directly a result from, of course, the earthquakes. You can see here some more pictures of exactly what's been going on. Really quite a big thing. Now, another thing that just happened is actually just not long ago at all, is one of the bigger earthquakes that we've seen since Sunday. It's away from Grindavik. You can see these two green dots here. If we go to the table, I believe it was a measure of 3.8 or something like that. So we can see it right here. So it was at 9:09 p.m. at 3.8, and it was 6.8 kilometers down, closer to Krusevik rather than Grindavik. And Grindavik's actually had a pretty good run of calmness so far, but of course a lot of people are saying it's the calm before the storm. Now, taking a look at some of the other pieces of news that are coming out, I've mentioned it before, the parliament is looking at working and paying for this defense structure to go around the Blue Lagoon and the power plant that is situated a little bit further away from Grindavik, a little bit further to the north. And now that the earthquakes are kind of settled down a little bit, they have just kickstarted that right back up. And it's good faith that they're doing this. There's also talks of should they move it to some other area, because you can see, perhaps Grindavik's infrastructure needs to be safe, but they're saying no, the power plant is definitely the most important thing that they want to protect, because as you can see here at the bottom, that 4,000 people being displaced in Grindavik. Should the power plant be destroyed, it could become 30,000, because the power plant does affect a lot more than just Grindavik. One thing, though, is we're talking back at Grindavik and the crack that has formed along the entire city of Grindavik. And you can see here there's an image. This is what the crack basically is doing. It is smack dab right in the center of this city of Grindavik, or town, however you want to see it, small town of Grindavik. You can see that this yellow dotted line shows the crack that runs through Grindavik, and this information was obtained yesterday. And this is basically what we're looking at here, is this giant crack, again, going through the city. And this is from the Magma tunnel, this is from the earthquake, so all of this is happening right now. Again, breaking news is that 3.8 earthquake, biggest earthquake since Saturday. But one last thing before we sort of close up here is some information coming out of the weather office, Veðurstofa Iceland, and they have looked at some analysis and analyzed satellite data prepared by the meteorological agency. And this data came in on the 12th of November, so it was just yesterday. And they're saying that this sort of sinkhole kind of situation has formed and has run through, or is running through, a part of the town in Grindavik. We just saw that line going through. Now, the data shows that in connection with all of this formation of the magma tunnel, the land in the western part of the settlement has subsided by up to 1 meter, which is pretty intense. And you can see some of the images here. Now, a satellite image from the Cosmo SkyMed, a so-called wave interpolation chart, which is what we're looking at, covering the period of November 3rd to 11th. Now, this image here shows the extensive deformation field associated with the magma intrusion that began on the afternoon of November 10th. Now, this waveform diagram allows researchers to calculate a model to estimate the extent of the magma tunnel. And the result of this is that the magma tunnel is about 15 kilometers long, and that the magma lays at a depth of about 800 meters where it's the shallowest. Now, based on the model, the volume change associated with the formation of the corridor was about 70 million cubic meters. Now, I know we're saying that odds are the magma is closer to the surface than 800 meters, but we're taking a look at all of this data that's being presented and the analysis of that. Now, again, this picture is part of the data that was co-interpreted by the scientists of the Meteorological Agency and the University of Iceland, and that result was used as the basis for the civil defense decision to evacuate Grindavik on Friday evening, which was November 10th. So all of this information coming out, this 800 meters, this is all, I wouldn't say like old data, but it's definitely stuff that they used back a few days ago. And things change quite quickly. Now, new models are being developed based on new, ISI satellite images and also new GPS measurements covering the last evolution of all of this activity over the last 24 hours, because things change so quickly. And these models are going to help give a better picture of the evolution of this magma tunnel and, of course, the amount of magma that flows into that tunnel. Now, we have another picture here. And again, this is from the Meteorological Agency. You can see here at the bottom, it contains modified data from the ISI and Cosmos SkyMed data from 2023. And this image is based on changes between November 10th and 11th. And it shows the change that occurred on the surface during the formation of the magma tunnel. Now, the blue colors are representing the subsiding Earth. And in the picture, you can clearly see the location of the magma tunnel and this sort of valley that is formed in the southern end. And you can see right here this really deep blue. I mean, if we zoom in and take a look, what we're seeing is this town of Grindavik is on this west side. It's not looking good for them if this magma tunnel is there. But also, talking about if it erupts anywhere sort of up closer above the town, who knows where this magma or lava, once it hits the surface, can actually go. So a huge amount of technical data that has come out very recently. And then again, if you want to take a look, you can go to weather.is. They have an English site, and there's a lot of information coming from this, but there's also all of the earthquakes. So you can see some of the news is coming here, and you can click on that. You get the same sort of graphs and information that is being presented to you right now. So that's really, you can take a look at it all by yourself if you wish. And then, of course, we have the earthquake chart and table here. Most of it is happening still in the Reykjanes Peninsula area, and all of the earthquakes are a lot fewer and a less magnitude than we have seen in the past couple of days. So I guess it's good news. Things are not shaking all around the country 24/7, but could be the calm before the storm. And hopefully Grindavik is going to be safe in the long run. Oh, one last thing. I almost forgot, because it was in the news earlier today, and I was really excited to report this on one hand, but sad to report it on the other, is the insurance companies have notified the residents of Grindavik that it is now too late for them to change any of their insurance policies in order to protect their homes or their belongings in the event of a natural disaster. So if they had not already changed their insurance, it's too late now until a state of emergency, or until basically the eruption risk is gone. Then it's just gonna happen. So I think we're gonna see what's to come of that. But hopefully these insurance companies are finding a way to work with the town of Grindavik and make sure that these people don't lose their entire lives just because they didn't change their insurance policy. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Posting constantly. I posted a video on the search and rescue team. I was sort of driving around and saw them. Decided to give a quick chat with them and see what was going on. So definitely check that out. The quality's kind of not the best, and it was very windy. So bear with that video. But until next time, I'm definitely going to be keeping everyone updated as the news develops.